Here we are with why do Europeans dislike Americans so much? I'm actually intrigued to hear the answers on this one. Yeah, I feel like I know what some of them are gonna be, but I'm intrigued to hear what they got to say in this video. Before we jump in, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, ring notification bell, get a video a thumbs up so it gets suggested. What we got?
I'm asking questions about how Europeans see Americans.
I think it's a third world country with a lot of money. Very negative.
Very negative.
Yeah, I don't see anything positive.
Third world country with a lot of money. How can you be a third world country with a lot of... Is there a such thing as a third world country with a lot of money? Like, as much... Like, I feel like those are two things that would not be synonymous with each other.
Positive about America.
I think
wow.
they're a bit stupid. American
That's tough.
TikTokers, they earn too much money with what they do. Like in Belgium, we have to work for our money and they just make videos and that's it.
Oh my god.
Hold on. Time out on the play. What you mean? They just make videos and earn too much money. In Belgium, we actually got to work for what we do. Let me be the first to tell you. And I only do reaction videos. But making videos all the time, recording content all the time, editing all the time is 100% work. It is tough. It is mentally draining some days. You feel me? But I understand working on it. I honestly would rather do this than work in any other job that I've had. But still, like, I can't. The people who go out and get this content, so much content, and they edit it together. I know that's a lot tougher than what I do with these reactions. So the people who actually put all these videos, bro, there were, trust me, they putting in work. I don't care what we got.
You know, I might be completely wrong about this, but I think it was a little bit cooler to be American when I was a kid.
I think so too, man.
I've lived in Europe for several years now, and look, I've romanticized this continent quite a bit. I really like living here, but there's a funny feeling that I cannot shake, and I think it has to do with how Europeans view Americans, or how Europeans view me when they discover that I'm American. And it's not entirely positive. This feeling has not gone away even though I've been here for a few years now. And it's not hatred, it's more like negative undertones, offhand comments or jokes that are made, and it makes me feel not very cool. And by the way, I recognize not all Europeans dislike Americans. That is a massive generalization. But I'm bringing this up.
Yeah, there's a lot of them that love us over here. There's a lot of them that love America and Americans.
Because it's been enough of a trend for me to confidently talk about this as something that's really happening in the world. I don't think it's just in my head. It just seems like when it comes to Europeans' view of Americans, there's a lot to dislike. I don't necessarily entirely disagree. I have plenty of my own criticisms about the United States and the way of life over there. And I think that all places, all societies merit criticism. That's how we get better. Sure. So this applies to everyone. Sure. But there's something deeper going on here that I want to explore. On a personal level, my own identity as an American, but also the identity of Americans on the global stage. We don't live in a bubble, and it turns out the whole world has opinions about us. Now, I have my own theories.
That's what I'm saying. It's I completely agree. America, we have a lot of problems here. Like, there's a lot of issues that we need to work on. But to say there's nothing great about America is wild. Like, America is absolutely still a great country. A lot of problems, but a great country that's done great things for the world, I feel like. But when people say like arrogant, cocky, all that stuff, I completely understand that because I feel like it is like taught to us at a young age and embedded in us. Hey, like, we're the greatest country on earth. We do everything the greatest. Everything is the best here. And it's probably an understanding of why a lot of countries would like hate. But I feel like there's so much hate around the world for America. Like, I don't get it sometimes. So, cause I'm like, dang, like, they all don't, nobody likes America. But a lot of people who've been here, I feel like, who've met certain Americans, actually really do love. You know what I'm saying? The Americans that they met, they think they're cool. There's just a handful of Americans that are not cool, that make us look bad to the rest of the world. That's all. Just a good amount of them that make us look bad to the rest of the world.
about what's going on here, but I thought I'd get to the root of the matter and ask Europeans themselves.
Talk to
It
me.
makes me a little bit nervous talking to strangers, but
I feel that for
I'm
sure.
gonna go for it. What are the stereotypes?
That's a good question.
Bah moi, quand je pense aux Américains, je pense à la bouffe et tout.
Dans
Yeah.
quel sens? Le fast-food?
Ouais,
Ok.
parce que les McDo. Ouais.
McDo.
Ouais,
ok.
hamburger et tout.
Mais les Français adorent McDo.
Oui, bah, on y était il y a 2 minutes.
Donc c'est pas négatif ça.
Non, non.
Okay.
C'est l'image.
Actually, I like Americans
Okay.
because they are like very
Hey!
chilled.
Thank
America is
you.
like so expensive for good food.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true.
For like
That's true.
fruits and all this fresh stuff, it's like so expensive.
J'ai deux visions.
That's a fact.
Ok.
J'ai la version où ils sont trop cool et tout, et la version vraiment le beauf américain.
Do you think the stereotypes about Americans are true?
Kind of. I have a classmate that is American, and we are talking like about our traditional foods. And the American was like, my typical food is hamburger, ice cream, like the McDonald's one. And we
McFlurry?
were like, oh, so McDonald's is your typical food? She was like, yeah, kind of.
Could I just take a couple minutes to ask you a couple questions? It's okay
Yeah.
if you don't have time, it's fine. Okay, all good. Have a nice day. The Americans don't have time for me. Would you mind if I asked you a couple questions?
Polarized.
Polarized.
Extremely polarized.
Yeah. More than the Netherlands.
Much more.
Feel younger people feel the same way or differently about American?
I think even stronger.
Even stronger.
I think they
Okay.
feel even stronger.
Yeah, the older people, I feel maybe thinking of the World War II and World
Yeah.
War One, in which the Americans did a very good job
Yeah.
by helping because Europe was not doing very well.
Yeah.
Ils connaissent que ce qui se passe dans leur pays, j'ai
Ouais,
l'impression.
ouais.
That's facts.
Enfermés sur eux-mêmes.
I feel like, yeah, I only know what's going on in their country, closed off. True. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what else to say, but yeah, there's things like about other countries that I feel like would be obvious to most people from other countries. Like, they know this about all these other countries, and it's obvious to them. And it's like, us Americans, it's like we don't know so much about these other countries. So I feel like we are kind of closed off in that sense. And I guess we don't really look to the rest of the world. We don't really look into learning about the rest of the world. So I get, yeah, I mean, they're right in a sense. I can't be mad at them.
C'est-à-dire que c'est pas contre eux, mais qu'ils s'intéressent pas trop.
Yeah.
They know about their own country, but not about like other stuff in the world. They're
That's true.
overrated.
Oh,
Overrated.
that's tough.
How? Like, they receive too much attention?
Yeah,
Yes.
too much hype.
Too much
on
hype.
the internet.
Are you also German?
Yes, I am.
And in Germany, you feel like German people have a positive view of Americans? Or
Not really.
no?
I think
Okay,
so.
so more negative.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you feel that there's been a change at all in terms of how Americans are viewed, like in the last 10, 15 years?
I think so, yes. Especially due to the Trump and the Tea
Yeah.
Party.
I
things
swear to
happening.
God,
It got
bro.
more polarized and that made it more negative in my view.
I swear to God, in these, when I watch these videos, bro, other countries didn't like Trump, bro. Like, in all these videos I watched, no other country, they thought we were like, Americans are stupid. They were like, how could you let him get in the office? Like, it's crazy. And so, yeah, I swear they all have negative views of Trump. I didn't really pay too much attention into what Trump did. And so I couldn't tell you the positive or the negative things that he did, to be honest. I really don't pay attention to much politics at all. Because I feel like he just can't find a good politician. I don't know. But this is crazy. But yeah, I do feel like a lot of people, 10, 15 years, yeah. I feel like Trump, he gave a lot of people have a negative view of him and for America as well.
There's more that I'd like to say about why I believe this dynamic is happening, why Europeans see Americans in this way. But before I do, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, which is BetterHelp. And look, therapy is a really powerful tool when it comes to anything and everything identity related. I absolutely at any time and schedule live sessions when it works. The therapist that if you're interested in checking it, and I'll leave that link in the video. All right, time for me to share some of my own personal theories here.
Talk to me.
Here's why I think it was maybe a little bit cooler to be American in the past. I was born in the 90s, maybe like some of you. And back in the 90s, It's not like the United States or the world for that matter.
The Yu-Gi-Oh cards, bro. I didn't even know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but I watched the anime. I didn't even know how to play. But you best believe I was collecting them cards as a kid.
Didn't have its problems. It definitely did. You're not gonna get any of that classic, nostalgic, those were the days kind of thing from me. But one thing I think we can all agree on is that back in the 90s, the internet had not yet completely taken over our lives. Like
exactly.
And in my view, the internet feels like it's taken whatever problems already existed and made them bigger and louder. That might actually be what the internet is best at. The fast transmission of ideas and information, which in turn amplifies them. And there's another thing that the internet is really good at, which is that it is a canvas for less curated or filtered versions of that information or ideas. There are less gatekeepers, so anyone can say anything. My theory is that as time has gone on, and as the internet has played a bigger and bigger role in our lives, the world has been exposed to a less curated version of the United States. You know, you had movies and TV and pop music reaching the entire world, but it wasn't like it is today with social media and even the news reaching so many more people. Nowadays, it feels like you cannot escape the news about the mass shootings that are constantly happening in the US.
I swear to God.
Insane election cycles. I think in some ways, the internet might have taken away some of our innocence, right? Some of our naivete. As a result, even more curated versions of culture, like the highly produced TV shows and movies, are reflecting the things that we're seeing. The unintelligent or simple American is a very believable archetype and not a new one. You've got at least one and often more than one character that perfectly fits that archetype in pretty much all American sitcoms, from Friends to How I Met Your Mother. And there are plenty of shows that play off of this.
Bro, he's so spot on, bro. I hate to even pause to interrupt him, but if I didn't, this wouldn't even be a reaction video. This would just be me watching him. But he's literally so spot on. I completely agree with him about the internet. I think it has definitely amplified everything. And then, like, you constantly scrolling TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can't escape some of the negative things, and I feel like the media kind of pushes all of these negative things because that's what gets the clicks, that's what gets views, that's what gets ratings. And so all this is constantly pushed where, like he said, it took some of your naivety away, know what I'm saying? Because we didn't know a lot of this stuff. Like, we weren't exposed to it. Like, a lot of us didn't turn on a Channel 4 News or nothing like that. And we didn't do that. So the internet has kind of exposed us, like you said, to a more unfiltered view of the world, of Americans, of other countries as well, but America for sure.
Very intentionally. I think of South Park and Family and Simpsons. And internationally, the contrast is even more stark. And it might just be me, but it does feel like the perception of Americans is deteriorating. I mean, I'm thinking about shows like Emily in Paris or The White Lotus. The White Lotus in particular blew me away because it felt so believable and oftentimes in a very depressing
White Lotus is a goddamn good show. It's a goddamn good show.
Way. Clearly, Americans are not known for being refined or in touch with reality. This is particularly true of wealthy Americans. And why wouldn't Europeans feel this way? We are famously terrible at learning foreign languages. Too many were seen as living in our own giant bubble.
A lot of people beforehand used to think like the US was like very cool and this really lovely place to go to, but I feel like everyone just thinks it's dangerous and that they don't care about their citizens. There's all these shootings going on, like their healthcare is horrible, their schooling's horrible.
So there's been a change.
I think it's always been.
I completely agree. I think everybody does think that about America. Everything that she's saying, I think that's kind of becoming the world's view on America.
Been like that. I think there's a change now because like social media is is making it more apparent.
America used to be, like the American dream, like a lot of them used to be a big thing. Like gun crime is getting publicized a lot more, so I think the narrative is changing a little bit.
Je vois l'Amérique comme une grande puissance mondiale. Et je les vois comme des capitalistes. En fait, si t'as de l'argent, tu vis bien, mais si t'as pas d'argent, il n'y a personne pour t'aider. Marche ou crève.
In France, if you have money, you live well. If you don't, nobody gonna help you. Bro, I'm agreeing with these people.
We say the Americans are big and fat, but I love America with the friends, the salary friends.
R.I.P. to Matthew Perry.
Donc il y a des côtés positifs et des côtés négatifs.
Ouais, c'est ça exactement. Globalement, les gens pensent ça, mais en même temps, tout le monde va aller à New York et tout le monde va aller aux États-Unis. C'est ça en fait, ouais. Ils ont des préjugés, mais en même temps, c'est quand même un rêve d'y aller.
J'étais absolument ulcérée quand Trump était au pouvoir. De voir le comportement de cet homme, ça donne pas envie d'aller forcément dans cette maison. Le fait que les gens soient très très armés, j'ai l'impression que je me sentirais pas en sécurité.
Most people love Canadians.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you clarify you're a Canadian, they're like,
yeah. Where are you from in Canada?
For me, it's like a lot about the money, like the time.
It's all about the money.
And it's like, winners and losers and,
It's all about the money.
You gotta make it, and you gotta make loads of money, and blah, blah, blah. And then like if you don't have money, you're like basically fucked. I would say extremes.
Facts.
It's like an extreme.
Exactly.
Country, like very very rich, very very poor. Right. Eat very much, eat very 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 healthy, like extreme healthy, extreme, like XXXL and McDonald's, whatever.
Where are you from?
That's facts.
Perfect. So I'm doing a video.
100% we're a country of extremes. 100%.
On Europeans' view of Americans.
Okay.
I don't know if you have any opinions about that. So okay.
From Europe. No, we're not. We left the EU. No, this is in Europe.
Do you feel like it's a more positive or negative view of Americans?
I'd say negative. I feel like there's a lot going on there that's just a bit backwards.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we need to move along.
Yeah.
The like all the abortion laws coming in,
so politically.
and like all the gun crimes, things like that. Like I imagine like most of the country is absolutely lovely, but there's some of the morals that are just a little bit off.
I feel that.
Me. So I struggle with that.
I agree.
I feel that.
But I do think you all like proper chatty and that, and you're really energetic.
Yeah.
So it's a positive thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
but I
lovely
also
to
agree
meet
with that as well.
Yeah.
It's lovely to meet Americans.
Yeah.
Love meeting Americans.
Okay, so why am I so interested in this topic?
Talk to me.
Over the last few years, I have shared my journey moving abroad and looking for a home. Because that home is not the United States. I just don't feel connected to that country. Not as a home, even though I'm coming to realize that it did shape me in many ways. I'm just trying to find my place, but as I've said before, different people will treat you in different ways based off of how they perceive you. The first time I experienced this was during my high school exchange in France when I was 16 years old. Obama was president, and regardless of your personal political opinions or feelings, he was seen in generally positive light abroad. So in a weird way, even though I was not responsible for electing him, I wasn't even of age to vote, that scored me some cool points. And then on top of it, 16-year-old French kids living in a small town in the west of France thought it was cool that I rode a yellow bus to school with my own personal locker in the United States. So I was benefiting from all these things that I didn't really control at all. Then I get to
I swear to God. I swear to God. I have your own locker is a big deal. That's crazy.
And I see what it's like to be on the flip side, where the general sentiment was more negative. I'm generalizing here, but there's a bit of an anti-American streak in Argentina. And I think this comes down to the image that the United States has of being a bit of a bully. I mean, Che Guevara is a bit of an anti-American, anti-capitalist symbol, right? So that was a very different experience, and now I'm back in Europe, and I've been here for a while, and the perception has changed yet again.
90% of the Dutchmen think Trump is quite strange.
Yeah.
They think Republicans are also quite strange. And that Americans are very Puritan.
This might just be me, but I do feel like the image of Americans has deteriorated a little bit over the last 10 years. That might come down to the government that's currently in power. It might come down to social media. This is a very complex thing, so I can't
I think all of those things are factors
into a single reason, but it's definitely a feeling that's there. Now, on a personal level, before I realized that this was going on, I was kind of unintentionally overcompensating. I felt like I needed to show that I wasn't the out-of-touch American in Europe. And the same thing happened to me in Argentina, where I was speaking with as much slang as I possibly could that I picked up over there, even when it was just way too much, when it was inappropriate. Que zarpado, boludo, está re piola, pibe, mal. Why was I acting like that? Was there a deeper need within me to be accepted by the people that I am surrounded by? To me, it's a little bit cringy to behave that way because it's overcompensating for something, which in this case was the identity that people were associating with me. Whatever it was, the out-of-touch, stupid American, or whatever it might be. But that's actually a me problem, not a problem with the world. I've come to realize that people can think whatever they want about you. It doesn't change who you are. If people see me as yet another dumb American, it doesn't mean that's true. And also, it doesn't mean all Americans are that way. I think we all know this. We all know that individuals don't necessarily follow the stereotypes. But It's also how people operate in a world of 8 billion people. I can't blame people for having formulated an idea about the place that I'm from, considering how much culture is exported from that place. A part of me used to try to distance myself as much as possible from anything and everything American. But the truth is that at least some part of me, some piece of me, has been influenced by my upbringing there. There are a lot of things I don't like, but there are some things that I do. If genuinely being very enthusiastically excited about simple things is the dumb American thing to do, then fine, maybe I'm a dumb American sometimes, because that is something that comes naturally to me. I would rather be myself and accept the consequences than try to be someone that I'm not. And you know what? Everyone wants to feel welcome wherever they are, and especially in their home. But the reality is that that's actually a luxury, not a given. So many immigrants in the United States were never made to feel that way, despite the fact that the country benefited tremendously from all the immigration, all the people that risked their lives to go build something over there. Honestly, I don't have it that bad. Who am I kidding? I don't have it bad at all. It could be so much worse, and oftentimes it is. Exploring this topic has really given me quite a bit of empathy for the immigrants that are very poorly received all around the world. So, what do you think about everything I just shared here? What is your perception of Americans or of Europeans towards Americans? I would be curious to hear, because this is a giant open-ended topic, and I invite all different opinions and perspectives on this. It's just something I love to explore. Also, apologies to all Latin Americans and Canadians who are Americans in their own right. I have decided to use that word in this video because there isn't really another word that has been widely adopted to still speak of the people of the United States. So I just used it for simplicity, and I hope that you can forgive me. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see all of you very soon.
Bye guys. Bye guys.
Aw, an adorable kid, bro. I love that he did this. And yeah, I feel like there's a lot of factors in the image that we portray to the world, and why a lot of the world is either scared to come to the U.S. or they don't like it, or you know what I'm saying. But I feel like there's so many videos from people I've seen who talk about like that they met the Americans that they met. They absolutely like love the Americans. Like they're fun, they're chatty. Sometimes they're loud. I mean, and that, don't get me wrong, there is a bad side. They can be rude. They can be discourteous. They can be all of these things. But people love Americans. I think it's just the image of America that a lot of people don't like. But that's all we got for this one. You guys got a favorite video suggestion? You can subscribe to Patreon or drop it in the comment section. It's your boy D-Neil. Out.